You can no longer take advantage of my light force. I'm saying goodbye because you're slowing me down, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Where I once had a friend, I've now got a hole. You've taken up far too much of my time, and you're running me dry, both in my pockets and in my body. I can't keep doing this. We found each other in a place of insecurity and facade. I've chosen to live in a place of authenticity and purpose. This is your eviction letter, and yes, you've had 30 days. Saying goodbye to you is what I've been praying for. Every time you had me begging God for mercy with my head in the toilet. Every time you helped me to chase what wasn't there. Every time you kept me out of rooms my name was mentioned in, and every time you forced me out of rooms I belonged in, I resented you. I must reveal to you that I've been faking it for far too long. The love left years ago, and with it went my sanity. Saying goodbye to you is my wish fulfillment. I deserve fruition, and God's timing says it's now. I'll never forget you. The thoughts shall become fleeting over time, though. I will not replace you, as your replacements are just as bad. However, I will tell the world about you. I look forward to that. You may gain some new friends, but hopefully I'll inspire people to keep an eye on your fake ass. I'm sure we've more than broken even, and you've gotten everything you wanted. So long, friend. Go be great elsewhere. I know I will. God bless. Domine Spinelli, free at last. Hello, my droplets. Today's episode is a heartfelt, humorous letter to our old frenemy, alcohol. We're saying goodbye to the booze, but hello to the amusing memories and lessons we learned. Reading it back, 539 days later, I'm proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself. And I don't miss it as much as I thought I would. Like, I empathize with her because you could tell she thought she was gonna miss it. She was missing out on something, but I am the party, you can hear the undertones of that she believes in herself, but there's an air of I don't really know if this is gonna work. And I can say proudly 539 days later, it works out better than you could even imagine. But I have empathy for people that are still struggling with that. People that, cause I had it the worst for me, but there are people in there that were doing way more than me in terms of consumption. And it's I feel for them because I met them and I see them every day. It's not like they're hiding, they're right there. It's people every day, and they feel that dependency of needing something that does not like you. It doesn't even like you, and you're telling yourself, oh, it makes me more fun, it makes me go outside, it makes people want to talk to me, it makes me sexy. It doesn't do any of that stuff. It's all in your mind. All of those things are already inside of you, and you're looking for something to put inside to make you feel like, oh, this gives me superpowers, but it doesn't. It's kryptonite. So that was a letter that we had to write in rehab. It was one of the tasks that we had to do before we left. When we got there, you get a binder of things specific to you. But the Dear Alcohol letter is one that you have to write before you leave. And I waited until the end. That was, May 18th? I think I left on the 24th. So I waited a very long time. Because every time I go to write it, I cry. I just feel for other people these days. I just feel for others. Because there's still people that are going through exactly that. And they don't want to ask for help because they're enjoying it. Or they want to ask for help and they don't know where to get it. Or they don't even know anything is wrong with this. They're one drink away. They're one wild night away. And they don't know that it's taking over their lives. Slowly, it creeps in. It's only a matter of time. They say you have to reach your rock bottom, but they also say rock bottom only gets deeper. So the first time you hit it, it might be a lot for somebody, but it might not be enough for you, and you got to hit it 5 more times. I believe that they can turn away whenever they're ready, and that's what I hope to convey, that whenever you're ready to turn away, You have a million options. I'm the girl to talk to. I know the other people you can talk to. Like, there's a million ways to turn away. But you got to get sick of it first. And unfortunately, a lot of times in order for us to get sick of it, we have to exhaust every option. It wasn't until I was being granted comedic opportunities and too drunk to get on the stage that I was like, yo, what are you doing? This is too far. Why did you get this drunk before you got on the stage when really in life we're chasing that high of you're doing what you're supposed to be doing? I'm chasing that high, but I'm getting drunk on my way there. And then as I'm waiting, I'm getting more and more drunk. Now I can't get on the stage. Like, I squandered a whole opportunity and maybe lost some people in my network because I was too lit. And I missed out on whoever was in the room. Who's to say that I couldn't have impacted someone that day? And I squandered it. That was the bottom. That was too much for me. That and getting sick all the time. That last year, I got sick regularly. And it was destroying my skin, the toilet. So it always started off fun. I'd start like after work, so I would get off early. So a typical day, I'd start at like 3 o'clock, about 3:30. And I'd have like a tall can. This is after working a whole 8-9 hour day. I'd have a tall can. I'd buy 2, and then I'd buy shots. Or like a little, I don't know, was that a half pint? That's crazy, because once you let it go, you really forget all that kind of stuff. It's like, But, so I'd buy like a little half pint of whatever I was feeling, and then 2 tall cans of a sour beer. I like sour beers. They're IPAs. And I would drink 1, and I'd decompress. So I'd sit and I'd smoke milds and like, woo, 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 I'm decompressing. I wouldn't take a shower yet. And I'm like a super clean person. So me waiting a long time from the time I got in the house to take a shower, that already was like, So after that, I would begin to cook dinner. By that time, I'm like almost all the way through the tall can. It's time for the cocktail. And I just like having multiple cups. So I was probably doing the cocktail and the beer at the same time. I'm cooking dinner, and by the time I finished cooking dinner, I didn't even want to eat it anymore. And I'd go drink the other tall can and finish whatever I was drinking. And then you smoke a few more. By the time you do that, you haven't eaten since lunch, which was at 12. It's about 5 o'clock now, 4:30. You still haven't taken a shower. You're smoking and drinking on an empty stomach. That last mile would take me out. And the room would start spinning, and then I'd either like just like shove food in my face so that I wouldn't get sick and still end up getting sick, or I'd just be sick. Now I'm on the floor in the bathroom again, just hawking. And it wasn't until that happened, I'd say about 4 times, I was like, you keep ending up down here. Why are you down here? What time is it? It's 6 o'clock in the evening. The night really just started and you're out. Or you're maintaining because you were able to eat a little bit of dinner and you're maintaining, but now you're looking for a wave. So you're trying to go outside and get more drunk. So I'm calling a friend, come over, buy some more, whatever. Oh, let's go to the bar, like that. Now I'm out all night long. And if I was out all night long, by the time I got home to get up for work and be in the truck at 6, I had to be up by 5:30, the latest. And even still, that's cutting it so close. How can you really do your self-care regimen? I had no facial washing routine, nothing. It was brush your teeth. Sometimes I wouldn't even wash my face. I'd just go. And it's like, whoa, you're an adult. You're a woman. Like, you're aging. Like, you tell me you don't wash your face, you just be like, all right, time to go. And you go out the door, that's wild. I was brushing my teeth, though. Some people get so bad they don't brush their teeth. The one night I got really sick, and I was begging God, because it was still a good time. And I was begging God, like, please just get me off the floor. If you get me off this floor, like, I'm willing to make the changes. And I just remember like begging to get off the floor, because nobody wants to sleep on their bathroom floor. Like, nobody's bathroom floor is spotless. And I was like, please just get me off the floor. And he was like, if you want to be who we know you are, then you're going to have to get clean. And I was like, I'll do anything for you to get me off this floor. And I'm pretty sure I slept on the floor for a few hours. Then I got up, I got into bed, and the next day I was at it again. But my heart never sat the same after that. Because I felt like, how can I do that? It's not that I didn't want to. For years I prayed that I would not want to do it anymore. It wasn't that I still wanted to drink. It's that I didn't see life without it. How are you supposed to decompress from work without drinking? How are you supposed to have fun with your friends and family without drinking? How are you supposed to do this stand-up thing without drinking? You're not going to be motivated. And at the time I was smoking weed too, all of that. So they all go hand in hand. How are you supposed to do these tasks that bring you joy in life if you're not consuming? And it stopped me. And then also I didn't know how. I didn't want the stigma of, oh, like you went to rehab. And I also didn't know I could. I didn't know that you can take a LOA and they'll give you time off from work to go handle that. That's something that needs to be handled. I was driving trucks and I wasn't drunk at work, but it's the point. And who's to say you didn't wake up drunk the next day? Who's to say? It was impacting the time I could get up and go to work because I was so groggy the next day. And I think I was drinking. I really liked those sour IPAs. Like, that was really my jam, which was no good for my body either because the yeast makes your belly bloat. So it wasn't helping my figure either. And I was drinking that, and I just heard, go on TikTok and type in rehab facility just so you could see like a walk around. And I was like, okay. And I went on, and there was this girl, this blonde girl. I would name her, but I don't want to go to court. And she was talking about her rehab journey and where she went, and she was talking about what it looked like because all of the facilities in New Jersey looked like mental institutions. So, and I was like, man, this is not it. This is the stigma right here. It can't look like this. And I didn't really have money like that back then. So I saw where she was, and I called, and I spoke to a lady, and she was so nice. And she even asked me, like, are you drinking right now? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, can you tell? But it was fine. It was a safe place, and she shared some things with me, and I shared some things with her. And she was like, when can you come in? And I was like, oh, a few months, maybe like 4 or 5 months from now. She's like, why not now? Oh, I'm not ready, and the money's not right, and this and a third. She was like, do you have insurance? I was like, yeah. Well, we take insurance. Give me your insurance number. So I gave it to her. She said, I'll call you back to see if we take this. And she called me a few days later. She said that they took it. I was like, okay, yeah, but I just don't have time. I'm just going to wait. And maybe a month or so went by. She called to check in on me once. A month or so went by, and things just started getting worse. That's when I missed the show. That's when I started getting more sick. My love life was falling apart. Oh my goodness. And I just couldn't take it anymore. And my cat had just had kittens, and she was attacking us. It was crazy. It was like, what is happening? Nothing is getting better. Everything is trash right now. I had to keep my cats in like a room by themselves. It was terrible. It was hard to feed them. It was so bad. So now the person that I would usually like hold and tell about my trauma, like, she's attacking me. I was getting mauled. I got mauled 3 times by a cat. That's crazy. I can still feel her little body slapping up against my legs. She's okay now though, thank God. Again, I would consume and get angry or get aggressive. My temper would go up, my patience would go down, and sometimes she would suffer for that. And I have a lot of shame for that today, and I work through it. She forgives me, and we've had conversation about it, but I do regret being that person. Because, they say only psychos, that psychos kill their animals and stuff. I wouldn't have killed her. I would shoo her away and such, and push her away. So this season, I brought my little buddy Eugene. He's my tissue holder. Ironically, I've got him stuck to a tissue box so he'll stand up, but he's my little tissue holder friend. Why? Because we're going to embrace crying this season. It's really the only way to heal, is to reflect, which often ends in tears, and that's perfectly fine. Last season I spoke a lot about how I didn't feel like it was okay. every time I go to a healing retreat or I have a really good therapy session or a good conversation with someone, it ends in tears, and that's okay. So if we're going to cry, we're going to make it cute, and we're going to name it. We're going to make it a friend, because he does spend a lot of time with me these days. I think everybody should have a Eugene, because, okay, so I did go to this retreat, and they told me that instead of using vulnerability, I try to make things funny. And I get that. I could totally go with that. But like, if we don't laugh a little bit, sometimes you let those feelings of sadness go way too far. And so I got something cute where it's like, okay, I'm not ashamed to carry it around with me. And then I gave him a little name, so it's funny. And it's just like, okay, get the tears out and let's move forward. Don't get stuck here. The goal is to get over it. But if you're crying about it, it's gonna ruin your whole day. I can understand why you wouldn't want to cry. So make it cute, get it done, use as many as you got to, and then move on. What can we do moving forward? Terry Savelle Foy said, "The life you currently live is the life you think you're worth." What does your vision for the future look like? What does your future self do? What do they wear? Who are they hanging around? What's going on? How do you see yourself in the future? When this game of life is said and done, where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Is alcohol the star of that show, or are you? If you feel like alcohol might not be the star, but it's a damn good co-host, maybe you should do some self-love exercises and really dig a little deeper. If you feel like alcohol's not in that vision at all, I would advise that you write a Dear Alcohol letter and release. Thank it for what it's done so far. Alcohol helped me a lot of times. I was running away from things and it was great. Oh man, we was Usain Bolt out here. So it's not terrible to have the crutch, but eventually you gotta walk. Take up your mat and walk. This is from the song Dear Alcohol by Dax. I got wasted because I didn't want to deal with myself tonight. My thoughts get drowned until I feel all right. I keep drinking until I'm someone I don't recognize. I got wasted. I know you're probably like, Dom, why are you dressed like you're going to a funeral? And I'll tell you why. Because this episode is dedicated to the version of me that no longer exists. She died on 4/27/22. That was 539 days ago, and I just want to memorialize her because she did the best with what she had at the time. But now I got new stuff and I'm doing even better. So I want to thank her for keeping me safe. I want to thank her for doing her best. She did her best. And if she didn't do what she did, I wouldn't be here right now. Hold on, let me get my Eugene. Eugene, brother, come on. I would also like to memorialize the version of you that no longer serves you. I look forward to us attending her funeral, right? Because in order to get new things, you have to release the old. Yes, it keeps you safe. Yes, it's in your comfort zone, but you don't grow in your comfort zone. So I'd advise you to do the challenge and get rid of it today. In this moment, I dare you to write your own Dear Alcohol letter. You can even share it with us in the comments if you feel led. And I want you to share your farewell notes with the hashtag Dear Alcohol Goodbye. And of course, hashtag to the last drop or hashtag 2TLD. I would love to read them. I would love to go back and forth with you about it and even just to support you in this journey. The first step is to write it down. And you're gonna cry, so make sure you get your little Eugene and get it done. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share if you really, really care. And turn on your notification bell so you can know when I drop new episodes. Thank you so much for listening or watching. If you love me, you did both. And that's all from To the Last Drop.